Today, we're going to interview Enny Kravitz, the technical director at YMH Studios. I've created this series to interview people that you have seen behind the scenes on podcasts because a lot of people want to get into podcasting and have no way how to do that. So if being a technical director of a podcast production studio is something you want to do, this might be an interview that might interest you. This is a good time to remind you to comment, like, subscribe. It all helps the algorithm. And I'd also like to thank the executive producer of this episode, the one, the only, David Finkel. Without David Finkel's big baller support, what I'd probably be doing is, so in China, what they do is they take rhinoceros horn and they shave it down and make tea out of it. And it's kind of like an aphrodisiac. Little do they know, or I think everyone knows this, it's the exact same DNA chemical makeup of just like fingernails. So what I would do is just start collecting fingernails. Boil that down, shape it into the, shape of a rhino horn. I think that's what it's called. And then just kind of sell those shavings off as like Chinese aphrodisiacs. But because of David Finkel's big baller support, I don't need to be collecting fingernails and stuff like that. And if you'd like to become a big baller supporter of the show, go ahead and click the Patreon link in the description below. Welcome to Catching You Up with Nadav. And without further ado, I would like to welcome my very special guest, the one, the only, Mr. Enny Kravitz.
Hey, shit. What's up, you big How you doing?
What is this? You trying to fucking make me work? That's so many bleeps.
How's the monetization game going?
Honestly, surprisingly, a lot of green check marks, but I think it's just because I'm just under the radar right now.
Yeah, they haven't seen you yet.
Yeah.
As soon as their
don't know
eyes
the
open.
damage I could do. No, YouTube's great.
That's good. Thank you for having me.
No, dude, thank you for coming. I mean, Chad was so gracious. I was trying to get you in when Chad recorded.
Yeah, I just had things to do.
I know,
Chad,
dude. You're a busy guy doing busy things. And lucky for us, or lucky for me, and lucky for you, Chad is not. And he was able to step in at the drop of a hat. And honestly, if you bailed today, would have been back-to-back Chad episodes.
So he has time.
Huh?
Oh, he has time.
Oh, I know.
He'll be here.
It's like, I was busy at the pool. I get it, Chad. Yeah, busy Chad. But so, the whole reason for this series is for people that are inspired or like that want to get into positions that they see on shows because, podcast crews are becoming a bigger and bigger part of the casts, becoming more regulars, interacting with people. And people see you doing all the technical stuff, but they're like, what the fuck? What is this? How do you get started in this? How do you, if this is something I want to do, how do I begin in it? So before we get to the advice, we'll save that at the end. But let's talk about your specific track on the first step that you took to start understanding this technology and how it evolved into the position of being technical director at YMH Studios. So let me ask you, when was the first time you realized that you liked technology, taking things apart, putting things together, and figuring stuff out?
I mean, that's been an ongoing thing. I think if you're looking to get a job in IT or tech or anything like that, this should probably be something that you've always been interested in since you were a kid. I mean, you can, I guess, just get into it and take a class and whatever, but I feel like if your heart's not there, this shit is the most boring field you could possibly get into. Yeah. It's all numbers and math. It's like none of it's cool. I try to explain what my job is to my girl, and all the time she's like, oh, that's so cool. So this button does that thing, I'm like, yeah. Well, no, it. I press that, and then you press this one, and it does it. And she's like, oh, wow, yeah, that's crazy. A lot of that's crazy.
Dude, I have that reaction with you sometimes. Like, yeah. I've seen you fix a problem, like, whoa, how'd you fix it? And you're like, well, the conglomerator wasn't patched into the brain, and the cable racks were. I'm like, why did I ask you this?
Yeah,
like,
I told you what phantom power was once. Yeah. You never let me forget it.
Well, yeah, I've always just, whenever there's a problem, like, is it the phantom power?
It's got to be it's the 48 volts. Yeah, it's the 48, not 44.1. It's like, that's not even the same thing. We're not even talking about the same thing.
I can speak nerd so well, but it's just like I could replicate sounds, but I don't know what they mean. Back when I worked at Weed Maps, there was like all the software devs that like I was in the room with. I was the only one that was doing video stuff. and I just picked up on little words that they said. And whenever they would be like in the middle of a meeting, I'm like, hey guys, did we forget to memcache the Joomla backend? Because the Python script is all fucked and we got to find that line of code that's giving us issues, or else, you know, that Scrum meeting is going to be a nightmare tomorrow. I'm
getting a headache. I'm getting a fucking headache. Dude, it's like as if your brain works mathematically for you to like say things that make sense, but in a way that doesn't. I'm just like, I'm short circuiting. I'm like, dude, what do you say? Stop.
It was such a good party trick that years after I stopped working for Weed Maps, they still invited me to their parties. Like, do that party trick that you do. Like everyone fucking loves. It's good for morale. But okay, so at a young age, you're getting into figuring stuff out. At what age particularly are you like, oh, I think I like this?
I mean, dude, I guess it was as soon as I don't know the age, but it was as soon as I touched anything technical, like any sort of electronic, I just immediately, my first instinct would be to kind of like open it and see like, oh, what's connected to what? How does this work? Crazy. I don't know. It's just always been interesting to me, at least. And then, when I was a kid, instead of like lining up cars and shit, fucking racing and playing pretend, all that, I would make like little charts for like how my future, I would see these huge like smart homes. That was like a huge thing when we were kids. Like
huge smart homes?
You know, like remember when we were kids, for a house to have like automatic blinds and like the fireplace turned on automatic, like that was like a huge deal. Right, it's like you have to be a million.
Clap on, clap off shit.
Like, yeah, sure. I guess that was No.
No, but I think I know what you're getting.
It's like, you know,
I'm
like
it up.
I remember even having a tablet. A tablet was not a thing when we were kids. So if you had a tablet, that meant you had some huge mansion and the tablet just connected to like the fireplace and the lights. Yeah.
Right.
I planned like how that would work and how it would function, how the tablet, what the pages would be, and like, oh, this video is going to connect to this TV and that TV, and if I wanted to split it, I'll press this button. I like had this whole thing fucking built out. And that was my dream job when I was a kid, was to be a home AV installer.
AV installer.
I thought that was like the coolest fucking thing
like
ever.
Making in-home theaters and stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, why do people want to fucking be an astronaut or like a doctor? That's stupid.
Yeah.
I want to be a fucking...
And that's a well-paying job, I think, still.
A home AV installer?
Yeah.
I mean, kinda.
Yeah.
It's like, the thing that I was thinking is the... Because I mean, I'm a kid. I was just thinking the guys that like punch holes in the fucking wall and then run the cables down from the TV and, you know, make a little TV slot. It's an electrician. It costs like fucking $20. But to me, I'm like, that's the coolest guy in the fucking world. The guy did that in our house. I'm like, how do I do what you do, bro? Because this is the fucking coolest. Yeah, that was my dream job. And then, I mean, I never really looked into it. I never took it seriously. I didn't have, neither of my parents went to college, so I didn't ever have that talk of you can go try to do what you want to do in life. I just figured, we all work the 9 to 5 and hate our lives, I guess, and that's just kind of how it works, right? Like, there's nothing more than that.
Yeah.
We just look at the people on TV that for some reason can.
Right. But like, be ready to be one of the sad people, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I was.
I was ready as shit.
And then I was, oh yeah, dude. As soon as I went out of school, I'm like, I'm going right to a 9 to 5. Like office jobs near me, data entry, fucking exactly what I want.
You're jerking
dude.
off to data entry job applications. Like, I'm gonna nail this fucking one.
$20 an hour? Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude.
Give me it now. I need that. Fucking.
So throughout schooling, you're fucking around with AV shit. Like you think that like your dream job is being an AV home installer. So once you're done with school, like what is the first job you ever had?
First job I ever had out of school was an office job. It was data entry.
It was data entry.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Yeah, and it made my dick hard. I was like, this is the fucking easiest thing ever. I think I told you, I made. Oh man, I'm sure my boss will fucking watch this. You know what? I hope you do. You deserve what I'm about to say. No, I'm just kidding. It's not even that bad. But we had a system for whatever, like let's call it like profiles for people.
Well, let's ease up on tapping the table.
Sorry, my bad. So we had what was I saying?
You're gonna make this edit so hard.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. Dang.
Thank you for being here.
I don't know anything about that. Editing. What is that? So the fuck was I saying? Your fucking rude comment just threw me off.
I don't know. So yeah, you're not afraid that your boss is about to hear what you're about to say.
Oh right, I was tapping the table. So the profile.
You piece of shit. You're such a piece of shit. Okay, yeah, the profile, yeah.
So let's say there's a profile of a person, and then we had file cabinet just filled with folders that had like a person's profile in it.
Okay.
My job was to take that folder, put it in the system, shred the file. That was my first thing that I did. I did it in like fucking 2 weeks. And that was like it's been like 4 years that they had that just sitting there. They're like, we can never get, there's just thousands and thousands of these. I'm like, bro, I'm fucking autistic. Like, are you like fucking immediately
Wired in.
And then I realized, I'm like, this is all, like everything that I'm doing is like a bunch of if-then conditional. Like I could just program this. This is something that could be done automatically. But I coded my whole job that took me the first time, let's say 5, maybe like, no, not 5, like 3 to 4 hours or something to do like one DMV, you know.
Like one profile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It would shorten the time into doing 50 of those in like 10 minutes. I just clicked a button and it was just like, okay, done, next. Do it again. It was like, okay, next. I'm like, holy shit. So I just did my entire job. I was like 3 months ahead. I'm like, I have nothing to do. So I literally just sat at my desk and I watched YouTube for fucking 8 hours a day.
Now, your screen wasn't faced the door so that people could catch you, right? You were positioned correctly so that you...
Well, that was I had to think about that. That was a thing.
Because you gotta look like you're staying busy.
You're thinking ahead and I like it.
Being efficient is actually like a huge flaw. You make things look easy so they think it's easy.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So I had 3 monitors. I was the only one with 3 monitors because I'm fucking cool like that.
Your data entry, dude.
I need the data. I'm IT. I need more compute.
Real estate, guys.
You guys don't do this shit. So I had a very important looking spreadsheet on this monitor at all times. The door was here. So the very important monitor over here. I had my YouTube over here. Or I'm sorry, I had my YouTube over on this one so that if you walked in, I had enough time to alt-tab. And then I had this one was a pre-recorded, I recorded myself like doing the job that I usually do. And I like screen recorded that. And then I played that on loop. It was like a 10-minute loop. And I set it up on VLC. So it was the background. It had none of the like window things. It looked like it was just a screen, and it was always active. You couldn't turn it off. That's on VLC. It's a great product.
You guys still probably use it at YMH.
VLC. You have to. You got to use it.
It's good.
It's great.
And it's free. And it doesn't break.
Well,
sometimes
it breaks.
It breaks. All right.
It breaks. But yeah, it's fucking. It's great.
No, it's because of the phantom power. You need to give it more phantom power. But
it's my only kryptonite.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Makes me sweat.
So you have a VLC player running on loop, and then how long does that skate you by for?
The rest of my job.
Which is how long?
7 years. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so fucking good. Let's take a quick break and thank the sponsor of this episode, SoundShed Studios. If you're in the Austin area and you're looking to record a podcast or even just record one side of a phone conversation, because Texas is a one-party state when it comes to recording phone calls, why not record it in 4K with great audio, high-quality fidelity? SoundShed Studio has gotten me out of multiple binds, and honestly, it's a one-stop shop for everything you need for podcast recording. Why reinvent the wheel when the wheel is already here for you to use for a very affordable rate?
Go to SoundShedAV.com right now to schedule an appointment, a consultation. They even build podcast studios. And we'd like to thank SoundShed Studios for sponsoring this show. Let's get back into it.
So 7 years of this data entry IT job. Then what?
Then, like, again, I was unintentionally learning coding instead of doing my job.
Which, by
So
the
I was
way,
getting into tech.
let me just say this as a tip for people at home. Like, if you have a job that has a lot of downtime, figure out what is actually your passion and do that during your downtime on the job. Get paid to learn the thing you want to do.
You know what though?
What?
I fucking hate these things. That's such a thing that people say though, that like, yeah, just take fucking more of your time. But like, here's what I was about to say.
No, but it's a downtime job.
Yeah, but it's not though, because again, okay, why did I quit, right?
Right, sure.
Why would I quit?
Sure.
Because I fucking hated my life. I was luckily just unintentionally learning coding, but it's because I was using my fucking scheme brain that was like, let me just find a way to get away from or get over this obstacle or whatever. But that's the only reason why I was learning. It wasn't because in my head I'm like, I'm gonna fucking, be productive and learn this new. I think that's way easier said than done. I almost think it's impossible for people at a fucking 9 to 5, especially if you've been at that 9 to 5 long enough that you're killing yourself and all you would do anything to get out of it. I feel like it's actually asking too much to say, you know what you should do? Like while you're at this piece of shit job with downtime, like you should take 4 fucking hours and like learn a new hobby. It's like, I used to say that, but I feel like it's disingenuous because
you're going to dread coming into work. And it's just once you get that bullshit out of the way, then you could do the stuff that you like.
Yeah, I think
it's an exit strategy at least.
I think if you're gonna have that energy, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna have the ambition to do that, then you're just gonna do it. If you're not gonna do it, don't bullshit yourself.
Just rip the cord and jump out the plane.
You might as well, because you're not going to. If you're gonna stay at your fucking 9 to 5 and pretend like you're gonna do this thing on the side and whatever. I mean, if you are, then you probably don't need to hear us saying this. You're probably doing it already.
Right.
But if you need to hear someone tell you to do that, chances are you're probably not gonna do it anyway. So just fucking either get over that, realize, all right, this is just, I would much rather the familiarity, the comfort of this piece of shit job that I fucking want nothing to do with, or take the fucking jump off the fucking cliff, get out of there. And that is exactly what I did.
Fuck yeah.
That is.
Dude, I love that move.
That's the move I made because I couldn't fucking handle it anymore.
Nice.
Thanks for this water, dude. I had to fucking hassle you for it.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Well, it's like, you
were going to give me the bullshit water.
Well, I had Chris and Chad here before, and like, yeah, they get the lows. But I was like, oh, Enny, high tier guest, he's getting the Fiji. But the thing is that so many people, when they face adversity, it's there's things that'll make you like pause or paralyze you in your tracks, and let that happen. Like let yourself have a shitty day, but the next day, fucking pull up your bootstraps and start thinking like, all right, how do we solve this puzzle? And solving puzzles is probably one of my favorite things to do. Like not actual puzzles. I fucking hate actual puzzles, but like puzzles that have like big stake puzzles of like, all right, how do we figure out this business model? How do we do this? How do we like figure out new revenue streams? Those are very fun puzzles for me. It's all silver lining, who did I hear this from? Pirate Software or something like that. He was like a big game dev securities expert. And I saw this short of him. He's like been coming up in my algorithm a lot. And he says this thing that I really like. And I think I'm going to be mentioning it in one of my other episodes too. But he says, a lot of people think that failing is bad, but it's not. Like failing is actually learning, because doing nothing is actually failing. Like if you're not taking steps in any direction, that's failure, because you're not giving yourself an opportunity to learn, progress and evolve in any way. But if you're trying and failing, you're learning from that. And you learn like, okay, that's not the way to skin that cat. How can we skin this cat? And you just like keep on trying in different directions until you finally get one. And so failure is actually fucking very good for you, because it's humbling. It makes you realize shit isn't easy. And it's like, all right, yeah, you just keep on moving and making, more mistakes until you figure out the way to not make a mistake. I love that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that's why I would just jump off the ship if it's not fucking working out and you think that you need to change, jump and fail and hurt yourself.
Yeah. It's a wild way to learn, but it's efficient too.
Because also here's the thing, especially if you're watching this video and for some reason wanting to do what I do, you're out of your fucking mind to begin with. Like, this is not a job to aspire to be. Like,
you like to be stressed?
This is fucking crazy for you to think that you want to do this. I mean, especially if you know the work that's involved, that'd be even crazier.
Right.
If you know what goes into a podcast and you want to do it still, that's fucking crazy. So if you're that crazy, then you don't belong at a 9-to-5 anyway. Get the fuck out of there.
Right.
Jump off.
Okay. So you jumped off.
Yeah.
What happened after that? You jumped off of your 7-year job. How'd you quit? Was it fun?
You know what? Right. I got put on as, because I told him that I just want to go. I'm like, I don't want to do the 2 weeks. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, I'm like, sorry, dude. I can't. Because we'd go at it like constantly.
You'd butt heads.
All the fucking time. So it was normal for us to have, like, oh my God, he did this thing. Because, I mean, you fucking know me. I'm late all the time. I mean, I wasn't late here today. I'm learning.
Right. No, you were
I'm growing. I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
But I wasn't.
Yeah, you're in
like,
your 30s now. So this is when it happens.
That's right. Not as old as Chad, but I'm
confirmed,
an adult.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's like 50 now.
He's pushing
I think he's older than Tom.
I think he's like 50. Something like that. 55. He might get a senior discount soon.
He's going to hate this. This is all staying in.
What's up, Chad? When are you gonna fight Zolo, bro?
Yeah, dude, that is the new fucking. Hey, by the way, I will sanction the match. I have a place that I think we could fight. I'll film everything.
My fucking jaw dropped when I heard him say not just that he would beat Zolo, but it was like, you think it'd be close? He was like, what? You know, of course. I'm like. Like,
Chad's 55, Zolo's 23.
It's not just about the age. It's not even about who would win. I'm just surprised that, like, I feel like only I'm.
Don't rule that out though. Age is a huge factor.
No, it is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that I feel like I'm the only motherfucker that would ever say some shit and be like, 100% I'm gonna fucking win. You know, it's like I'm the only motherfucker that says stupid shit like that. Chad said that about Zolo, who has been training with him for the same amount of time, if not longer.
Longer.
I think longer.
No, Zolo started, he's just like, hey, Chad, you like Muay Thai? Come train with me. Yeah, Zolo's the first one.
I'm like, yo, Chad, your confidence level, man. I mean, I gotta respect it. Look, I've said
Zolo's
the same
kicks,
thing.
dude. He could get his toes above his head. It's insane. Man. It's honestly insane. That's fucking young man limbarity. That's not what it's called.
My boy Zolo's
Limbarity can't be it.
Limberology.
That's it.
You and me.
We're wavelengths, baby.
Two heads. So much better than
Okay. All right. So we're getting away from it. We will be setting up a fight against Chad and Zolo.
I fucking hope so. I got money on Zolo, by the way.
Yeah, me too. Clearly, me too. Yeah. You took the plunge. You said, I'm not giving a 2 weeks notice. I'm just stopping.
He was like, okay, how about this? Because he's like, dude, can you just give me 2 weeks? Can you help me train someone? I'm like, no, dude, look, man, I've been in this, because I've been in this office. He said something one time. This I'll never forget. I was sitting in his fucking office and he was yelling at me. He was screaming at me about like, we're spinning our wheels, all the fucking corporate bullshit, like, it's low hanging fruit, blah, blah, blah. Yelling at me, just at my face. And I'm just sitting there. I'm just like looking at the wall. Because that's what I do. If you're going to fucking get super aggro with me, I just shut down.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just looking at the wall. And he said, like, he was done. I waited for him to finish. He was done. And he was like, you think you're the only person that's ever just been speechless in that chair? He's like, my son has sat in that chair. And he's been speechless when I've yelled at him too. My daughter has sat in that chair.
He's flexing this?
Dude, it's fucking insane. It's like, fucking insane.
I'm yelling at you like you're my child, is his argument?
Dude,
Holy shit.
I will never forget that. And I'm pretty sure within that month was when I quit. Because I went home that day, I'm like, this dude's out of his fucking mind. He thinks
real comfortable.
He thinks he thinks that like he is being a good dude. Like he doesn't even see this as being like a mean guy. He just thinks that's just business. This is just what it is. I just fucking berate you sometimes. That's just how it goes. I'm like, is that right? Okay, all right.
Like, yeah, bad companies.
Fucking crazy, man. Yeah, true that. So I went to his office and I'm like, yeah, man, like I got another offer, which I didn't, but I'm like, I got to get out of here. You know, they didn't give me any time, so I'm just gonna dip. You know, like it's been fun or whatever the fuck. And he was like, dude, like, can you, like, you got to give me time to, he's like, yeah, come on, what are you doing? And like, one of fucking those.
Did you say?
No.
Do you think you're the first person that's been speechless in that chair?
I wish.
I said, God, that'd be so fucking. I
mean, you know damn well that's how I've told that story to at least like three uncles and shit. You know, it's like that's the movie version of how that went.
Rubbing my palms together, dude.
But it never goes like that. It never goes. You think about it later, but
yeah, you repeat it in the shower for 3 months after that, and you're like, all right, well, I'll get that on the next one.
Could have fucking had him. I could have had him right where I. Nah, I was just because I was just desperate. I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. I was some big badass. I was just like running away legitimately because that was a scary ass place. I hated my life there. Why can you say nigga on YouTube, but I can't say rape?
Oh.
I can't say rape. I can't say I can't say it in the first 10 minutes or 10 seconds, is it? I forget.
It's gotten much shorter. Like people, it used to be first 10 minutes, then first 5 minutes. Now it's just like first minute.
It's like kind of the first few minutes. Yeah. Why can I say nigga? Why is that? That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
You know what's crazy is that I heard from Andres from Bad Friends that, I'll blur this out, this hand gesture, the algorithm picks up.
No fucking way.
Yeah, something like that.
What if I'm brushing my teeth?
That's different. That's overhead. No one jerks off like this.
What if I was?
Well, I mean, I have once, but you don't brush your teeth.
I could.
Yeah, you're brushing your teeth like this.
Clip that.
No, I got it. Well, it's going to be blurred as fuck. I have so much fucking editing to do on this fucking episode. But so here's my theory on it. Is that if the algorithm could pick up hand gestures, it could pick up inflection. Because when you hear that word, there's sometimes you'll be like, hey, whoever said that is not allowed to say it like that. But sometimes you hear that inflection and you're like, oh, no, that's okay.
No, because the way I say it on Tom's soundboard is very like, you know, I say nigga. Like,
right.
That doesn't sound good. But it doesn't sound friendly.
Well, here's the thing. Once YouTube picks up on the button pushing thing where they see that it's Tom pushing the button, then it's like.
You're saying that you think they're that.
If they could, I'm gonna blur this out again. If they could pick up on this, they could pick up on Tom hitting a soundboard where you're saying the N-word.
No, there's no fucking. You don't even see the thing. It's not even.
It's a specific. They'll know exactly because it's a small board, dude. They'll be like, "Oh, he's in the bottom left. Hold on, he's in the what is it? Purple, blue section.
Purple. Why'd you go to purple?
I don't know. I remember it was color schemed. Blue section.
But why purple? It wasn't purple, so why'd you think purple?
Don't.
Why? I mean, I'm just thinking of all the things.
Because of the Oprah Winfrey movie. The color purple, which I haven't seen, so I don't know the significance of it. Honestly, that's just the relation.
Solid.
Please believe me.
Solid save. Respectable.
Oh my God. I'm
respectable.
I'm sweating on the inside right
I respect it. I'm a big fan. What the fuck were we talking about? Oh, right. So how are you going to get this dumb job in this dumb industry?
Right. You pulled the ripcord. You fucking didn't have a game plan.
Yeah.
What did you do?
What did I look for? I went on Craigslist and I looked, because I knew how to live stream at the time. I was doing like streaming on the side, which is like, again, if you're doing streaming on the side, you're not fucking streaming. You just if you're going to do it full time, do it full time. It's also a mistake, but.
But here's my question. What the fuck do you mean you were doing streaming on the side? Like, how did that start? What was the first streaming thing that you did?
I've always been a gamer.
Right, I know that.
Yeah.
But when did you transition from being a gamer to being like, oh, there's tournaments like that I could help stream with? Like, what was?
No. I'm saying streaming like personally.
Oh, like on Twitch and shit?
Like we do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're streaming yourself.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So you're streaming yourself playing video games.
Mhm.
And then through that, you're learning all sorts of skills.
So through that, I learned, I mean, live streaming, it's so funny because it's so embedded in our culture now, but live streaming was not a thing, especially for like events and corporate events, stuff like that. Like it was really only gaming and esports that did live events. Maybe something like a Coachella, maybe, but like the tech you would need.
I mean, sports does live streaming.
Sure, but that's in a way that it's always done though.
Right.
That's not
That's just
anything new.
camera inputs, like not like fucking.
Well, no, I guess streaming as in through the internet, not broadcast. Broadcasting is like
Gotcha.
news.
Okay,
and-
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, live streaming over the web
Right.
is like not a thing.
Like Netflix just started live streaming events.
But that's not. Oh, right.
Like
Just
they did
now.
like the
I
Chris
see what you're
Rock
saying.
special
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
where it's just like Netflix just did that for the first time within the last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So when I started streaming, that was when no one was doing it whatsoever, except esports and games and whatever. And that's why I was into it, because I was already a gamer. So it was kind of just like a thing you did. If you were good at gaming, it was kind of just a thing you did. It's like you got a stream, you got a Twitch, you open an account, your fucking people that were in your clan or whatever would follow you. You'd gain a following, get a Discord.
Right.
It was just a fucking path, and I took that path. Got a bunch of followers, and then, but that was while I was at work at this data entry thing. Then, then I left, and I looked for events that needed live streaming. And what do you know? No one fucking needs it because no one wants it. No one even knows it's a thing.
Right.
So I tried to sell it. I got with like this yoga studio that wanted to do live. Yeah, it was kind of cool. It was like
Yoga studio.
Yeah, she wanted to do like live, basically, so you could be in her class. If her class was full, you could take a virtual class and be in it while it's happening. So it's not like a video that
I mean, I like that strat. That's the live Kill Tony model.
live Kill Tony model.
You buy tickets to the live event.
Oh, right.
But then also stream it for people that can't make it there. Fucking this yoga lady was a pioneer.
Well, it was my idea.
Okay.
It was my ex, Core Power Yoga. My ex went to this like, because Core Power I think was a fucking, what's that called? A franchise or whatever? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
There was a little yoga spot that my ex went to, and I remember talking to her about the idea of live streaming and whatever, and then she was like, well, like the only thing that I do would be like yoga or whatever, and I'm like, well, is there a reason that you would ever see a live yoga class, you know? And she's like, I mean, I guess if she was full, you know? I'm like, I could sell that, maybe, you know? So I put a package together, little PTZ camera that was trash, fucking.
PTZ meaning point, zoom, tilt.
It's flipped, but yeah.
Okay.
For dyslexics,
There we
it's
go.
being accessible.
Well, if I have anything, it's definitely a learning disability.
That's
Phantom power. So you were just like controlling a camera virtually, or were you on site doing it?
it was automatic, and it was like I set it up so I didn't have to be there because that's
Okay.
what I wanted to do. I
Right.
didn't want to be
Smart.
Yeah. So it was a little God, what was that encoder back then? Video encoder, which streamed. It would stream to YouTube, and then I did a little camera PTZ that went into that, and then a little power bank that powered everything, and that was literally it. Like she just had to turn it on. I configured everything so it would be the right ports and whatever, and just turned it on and it's done. So she would just turn that on and,
No
and
shit.
put that on her website. Oh, that's right. I had to figure out how to fucking host a RTMP on her website because she didn't want to go through YouTube for some reason. Something about, I think back then you couldn't do the unlisted.
Oh, like it was like it was too hard to make it like a public people could just get this shit for free.
It was something like, oh, 'cause
Hard to put
I guess,
behind a paywall.
Yeah, because I think even back then, or even now, if you have the unlisted link, anyone can see that if that got out.
Mhm.
And so since in yoga, kind of everyone's cool, it's like they're all going to share the link. So she's like, yeah, I don't like that. Can I make it where it's like a sign in and whatever? I'm like, I mean, I'll try, you know? Like, I don't fucking know. So I had to learn web dev and shit. It was annoying. But yeah, I did that one time. I did a not Broadway, but like a play in Beverly Hills one time. There was a lot of one-off things.
Right.
And then I found esports. Like there was a college that was doing an official tournament. It was CSUF, right? Yeah, Fullerton. Yeah, they were doing a Smash tournament, and they're like, "We need a streamer. Is there anyone?" And I'm like, "How the fuck did I see that?" Oh wait, no, I think someone tagged me in it, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I have." I'm like, "Yeah, I have the setup. I don't have like mics or whatever." They're like, "Oh, we'll supply you mics. We'll supply you cameras. All we need is like a stream rig and someone to run the stream and have like maybe an overlay or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is perfect. So I went, brought the stream, did the overlays, made them in Photoshop real quick. And then I hired, shout out to fucking Quinlan Cantrell. I never call him that. It's so weird for me to say that name, but his tag is Ruda Fuda, the fucking goat. Hired him. Fucking none of us made money, but got him and like a few others to shoutcast it, so to be on the mic and like just talk about the game. And it fucking worked. Like we put, I had some issues. I found out you can't do 2 USB mics into one computer. That doesn't work. So you have to instead have a mixer that plugs in and put 2 XLR mics into it. It's like, I learned there was a bunch of shit that we had to troubleshoot there, but I showed up super early because I knew we were going to have to deal with all that shit. And by the end of it, we were on fire.
Just dialed in.
We were just, I'm just saying, after the event was over, we were like fucking jumping for joy. We're like, dude, we found something here. This was fun as fuck. Like, this was the coolest thing ever. So I'm like, look, man, because we didn't get paid. It was $0. So I'm like, look, guys, I can buy you dinner tonight, and we ate at Jack in the Box. So I'm like, I could buy you this Jack in the Box. I didn't get paid, like, I don't know what they're like, dude, like, if you ever want us to do this again, just let us know. Like,
what a crew.
And I'm like, dude, I felt the same, but I didn't want to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day. And so, yeah, then we just ran and did that. It was, we ended up forming a team of like, I don't know, 10 to 12 or something, all fucking killers. And we would just host different tournaments around California that needed a stream.
No shit. And then eventually you started charging for it, or was it always free?
Eventually I did my own. I did a Smash tournament called Falcon Punch Fridays. You could still look that up and see some real fun clips of me getting kicked out of there because gamers suck and they don't know when they have something good. So we had the kids fucking screaming and smashing the table and throwing controllers and shit, and they banned us. But for a while, we made good money. Good money. I mean,
good enough money to keep it going.
Dude, at the time, that was more money than I've ever fucking seen.
Right.
I am not a business person, so I just split it right down the middle with everybody.
Right.
Which is not smart, but whatever. That's
sure.
Like all I knew. We would, I think for the first 2 months, we made, I think it was like $600 a night, which was like fucking crazy to me. I'm like, this is like the most amount of I could live on. And then I'm like, oh, right, but I got to split. Okay, well, he set this up and like he did commentating and like, well, he made the graphics and this guy set up the consoles and like, shit, okay. We ended up with like $50 each. After I tipped the bartender $100. The bartender made more than me. Shout out to the bartenders. They were fired, by the way. They dealt with some fucking assholes, man. Those gamers, fuck.
So you're setting up all these streams, and along the way, you're just getting better and better at figuring out live production workflows.
It was all, in reality, I wasn't really learning what I know now yet, but I was learning how to put out fires, how to troubleshoot, how to make something work with what you got, even if what you thought that you need, you don't have. There's something else that you can make work.
Right.
Do that. Figure it out now. Because we didn't have a budget. What fucking budget? I had the stream computer that I ran that thing into the fucking ground.
Which is your secret power, it's your superpower, by the way, is being able to make things work that shouldn't work.
Oh, 100.
Like, I've seen you in multiple occasions where it's just like, cool, so we're fucked? Like, this is just fucked? And like, that definitely wasn't helpful to you at the time while you're trying to solve the problem. I remember, what the fuck was it?
Florida?
That's exactly what I was about to bring up. Fuck it. I still feel bad about that.
Dude, Florida.
So it was the Fort Lauderdale Improv. We were doing a live YMH. I think Duncan Trussell was the guest. And it was just you, me, and then Lindsay, who was just like not really helping us set up. I think he was shooting BTS. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
He was just doing Lindsay stuff.
He was doing Lindsay stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was just you and me that were, it was you that was setting everything up.
I had you guys run cables.
Oh, yeah. But all I knew was just like, Lindsay, this doesn't have enough phantom power.
Fatten.
Ask Kenny if this has enough phantom power. So I remember like we're now testing everything. This is probably within an hour or two of talent showing up. And we're noticing that like playback is being played on monitors on all over like the club. And we're noticing that it's just the black screen comes up like
I didn't even remember this part.
It'd be multiple times. It'd be multiple times in a minute. And I'd be like, yo, dude, is this how it's going to be? He goes, no, let me figure it out. And I'm just like seeing you trying different things. And I'm like, Enny, be straight with me. Like, is this going to work or not? And you look at me and you're like, this isn't helping. I'm like, you're right. And I just go take a lap. I'm like, let me just let you figure this out.
Because the thing is, I was panicking just as much as you. It's just all up here.
Right.
I'm just it, and I'm doing the puzzles.
Definitely didn't look like
here.
you were. You were keeping it pretty cool and collected.
I mean, it's similar. You say you don't like doing the actual puzzles, but you like solving, crazy big problems. I'm the same when it comes to tech and production, and it's. I hate it. The part of me hates it, but I love the part of me that knows it's going to get fixed.
Right. It's like we will persevere. We will get to the finish line.
Yeah.
There was the fucking the fucking audio problem at the end. The audio literally just like stopped or something malfunctioned. And we were just like, yo, did we lose all the audio? Like, do we have that? And it was
right as soon as the heavy segment started, AKA the most important part of the show.
Yeah.
Some could say.
Yeah, some would say. Some would say the most. So,
fuck.
And I believe it's crazy because it felt like it was an hour of us like having this problem, but in reality, it was probably 3 minutes.
It was a minute and 19 seconds.
It was a minute and 19 seconds that you were able to figure out a solution, plug it back in, and we lost literally one video of the heavy segment. And I was like, this is why Enny deserves like 8 times his fucking salary. Like so many shows would have been fucking ruined without you there. You're just impeccable at troubleshooting and problem solving, and you're one of one.
It's definitely from this part of like when I brought that first night or that first tournament, we got the blue screen of death like 20 times, I want to say. Like, it was just nonstop blue screens of death, blue screens of death. Okay, I got to reset it, start back up. What was going wrong? Because the shitty thing about a computer crashing is there's no log. There's nothing to tell you, like, what the fuck just happened to make that happen. It just blew up.
You just need a new computer, right?
Fuck. That's what you want to fucking do. I mean, fucking YMH money.
But when you're fucking tipping the bartender more than you're making yourself for the night, it's a little harder to fly in a new computer. No infinite money glitch there.
I remember me and my fucking friend at the time, we had a fight because of a capture card. Like, I think he spilled something on it. And so it was like, it's a $150 capture card. And it was like, I was like, because we were both like, oh, well, we got to get another one, And then it just didn't get ordered. And I was like, hey, are you going to order that, capture card? Like, because we got a tournament coming up a couple weeks, He's like, oh, well, I mean, it's like, it's your capture card, like aren't you going to buy? I'm like, you fucking serious? Like, no, you are going to buy.
Broke it.
Yeah, you spilled on the, what do you mean? He's like, well, it shouldn't have been there at the same time. I'm like, are you fucking seriously trying to? It's like it's $150, and we were about to fucking.
Like, is this the hill? Is this the hill we want to die on? Because I'm ready.
I don't remember how that ended. I don't even remember who ended up buying it, but it was
bought.
It was bought, and that was a big fight. Yeah, we did not have a budget. We didn't have room for fuck ups or just replacing things. It's like no, we need to fix this. But it was that. That's why I'm good at fixing shit, is because, also growing up and wanting to fix it, but mainly because I've had to fix my shitty setup at esports tournaments for like, I did that for like 2 years.
Okay.
So from there, that was all free. I did that again, like, I guess with our tournaments we got paid, but it was never, it would pay the gas and food.
Never enough to actually make money. Break even if you're lucky.
Right. Most of the time we were not making profit. And then I made the stupid fucking decision of turning it into an LLC because I thought that would look cool. And then I just lost $800 a year. It's like, what the fuck am I doing? This is so stupid.
All right. So you're barely breaking even on these tournaments. You eventually get kicked out of a venue for Falcon Punch Fridays.
Yes.
What's the next step? Because I know somewhere between that and us meeting, there's still kind of a gap, right?
Yes. So I don't know what years these are because it's all a fucking blur. But
I think we met 2016 or 2017. I think that's when we met.
As if you say it, it's real.
Okay. All right.
Once I write it, these become facts. Have you seen that guy? Have you seen fucking OSHA Cares Diversity Affairs? Oh my fucking God, do I have baby.
Yeah. Send me links.
Oh.
Send me links, dude.
Dude. I guess this isn't the show, huh? Fuck.
Nah, this ain't it.
Look up OSHA Cares Diversity Affairs. I'm telling this dude. He's my favorite fucking guy.
Okay.
In the world.
He's
all
the
right.
new DC Plate King.
Look, I don't want to.
Apples and oranges.
I don't want to.
Apples and oranges.
Yes,
All right.
definitely. Different fields. But
shouts out DC Plate King.
DC Plate King.
It's still top tier.
Love
that shit.
One of his recent. Did you see where he saw the doll? He was looking over a gate. He was like, I stopped by the gate and I saw.
Oh, dude, his new shit is so fucking funny, dude. It's just like
cinema.
It's like, so
cinema.
No. I saw the Ottoman one. He's like, I have this Ottoman. It's undersized. It's not really functional for any type of sitting capability or functionality. But I have this baby Ottoman. And if I rip the fabric underneath, and then it just starts taking forks from underneath the Ottoman, I'm just like, this is the best fucking thing I've ever seen.
Dude.
Follow DC Plate King.
DC Plate King. The fucking goat.
All right. So gap between those tournaments and when we met at Machinima.
So my first paid gig was outside of esports. It was like a real gig because esports, none of the gigs that were paid were like real. It always felt super sketch and like there was some weird, what's it called? I guess, I worked for Oomba. Fucking Oomba. I completely even forgot about that
I think
job.
I remember stories about this guy.
Yo, there's a whole fucking article about, what is his fucking name? No, I want to say it. Michael Williams. Michael fucking Williams. And I know he's doing some sketchy shit now. Michael Williams, bro, talk about fucking electrifying. This dude. I mean, we had Whiskey Wednesdays. It was a startup and it was all investor fucking funds or whatever, but we had this huge building in the middle of Irvine, which, as you know, Irvine, impossible to get real estate in. It was like millions and millions
the
of
Irvine
dollars.
company is one of the most evil companies in the world.
Dude, it must have been, I think he said he was paying, I don't even fucking know, but it was millions for that building. And we were building fucking tournament bracket software. That was his big fucking idea. And again, I'm saying it sounds stupid. I promise you, he would say it and you'd be like,
the way he pitched it was just like, yo, do you need money? Like, can I give you my money?
Dude, it was so funny because I would see, like, he would take these stupid stock images of like esport arenas, and then he would just show that. That would be his deck of like, you see, this is what esports is, which it's not. That's just like, that was like the biggest one ever. Like Dota 2 spent $1 million or whatever, but it's like, no one's actually doing that. That was a one-time thing.
Uh-huh.
But he'd be like, this is what esports is. And no one even knows that we're on the ground level of it. Like the way that he fucking talked is crazy.
Being in the room with a good sales guy is really something special.
Fucking terrifying. But yeah, I worked for him and Oomba. And I was the broadcast director there, which meant nothing.
Okay.
Like, we didn't have a broadcast, so it was just this sketchy. Again, anything you got paid for in esports, at least when I was doing it, it was sketchy. It was always like, so something's wrong here. and I'm just going to be cool with that because I'm getting paid to be in this industry that I like. So
Right.
I'll just deal with it.
Right.
You know, it is what it is.
Better than data entry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time.
At the time.
Yeah.
In the beginning. And then, yeah, I mean, there's so many stories, but he's the type of dude where he had an intercom in the whole building. So he'd be like, and he would do it like a test, and he would always do it like right around lunch too, just like a fucking prick. He would click the intercom and he'd be like, all right, guys, everybody, if you can hear this message, that means you need to be in the meeting room within 5 minutes. And if you're not, I hope you don't like your job. And then he would just unclick it. And that's it. And there was like music that would be playing, and it would just go back to the music. And we'd all just be like,
Was it just like, da na 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 na, da da na.
you're fired. Doom, doom. And he was fucking serious. This is the craziest
You've
part.
seen him fire people on the spot?
He fired me 3 times. 3 times. And the first time I was like, this is it. I guess my fucking shot in this industry is just, I just blew it, you know? I didn't get to a meeting one fucking time. So I just blew it. And then literally as I was walking out the door, the HR lady, I can't believe we had HR, by the way. She was also so sketch, but she
Remember,
came down.
HR is always there to protect the company from you, not you from the company.
Yeah.
Continue.
She ran down, and right as I was leaving the door, she's like, hey, by the way, I know he like seemed really serious in there, but like, why don't you just come back tomorrow at like, 10:30, 11, just see how he is, maybe he won't, maybe it's not, And I'm like, so am I not fired? She's like, probably not. Okay. Went back in the next day, and he's just like, hey man, how you doing? I'm like, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious? He like would make a joke about it and everything. He'd be like, hey, didn't I fire you? What the fuck? I'm like, whoa, dude, you're out of your mind. He was crazy, man. Crazy.
Fucking tyrant, dude. That's fucking crazy shit.
Yeah. The last thing I saw him trying to sell was esports desks. And I'm sure he's pitching that like a motherfucker right
Desks.
now.
It's like, if gaming chairs are making this kind of killing, just wait till we put racing stripes on a fucking desk.
You'd laugh if you saw the website. That's literally what it is. It looks like a fucking racing chair.
I need to talk to this guy. Michael Williams?
Michael Williams.
Yeah. Mike Williams, hit me up. Fucking Barry Nadav show at gmail.com.
Oh, boy.
Or if you want some consulting, hit me up there. 2 ideas for the show, whatever the fuck.
Good luck. Yeah, fuck Michael Williams. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I mean, look, I'm sure you don't give a fuck about me either.
Goddamn piece of shit.
So after Oomba, got my first paid gig by myself. Like, it was just production. It was just me. It was my equipment. It's like a real thing. It felt like my first real thing that I did.
All right, so your first real event on your own with your own equipment.
Yeah.
With Logic.
Yeah, so it was Logic. It was a Q&A, and I just did a live stream, straightforward. We live streamed to Facebook, and that was it. But that was the first time that I saw production done for real, because all I did was live stream.
You weren't calling shots, or were you switching?
There were cameras, and I was switching.
Okay.
I was switching. But I wasn't like, no one was moving, so
Okay.
I was just switching between. Anyway, I saw like real production being done and set up in that place at Nue House. And so I saw the guy that was like, he seemed like he was the one in charge. I just fucking took a shot, dude. I just went for it. Like, after the event was over, I just went up, I shook his hand. I was like, hey man, good to meet you. I was the live stream guy. If you guys ever need like a live stream or, anything around here, I'd love to help you guys out. And look, dude, I mean, I'm going to be real. Like, I've always wanted to do what it looks like you're just doing all the time. If you need help doing anything ever, like, call me. And the only thing he said, he was Russian. So like, I'm sure all of what I said.
This is the start of the Russians.
This is the Russian. So Yuri was his name. And all he said, I'm sure everything I said to him was he's just like, what? Like, you want to work? Okay. And so that's probably all he heard. So he was just like, projectors? And I just fucking lied. I was like, yep. I was like, which ones? He's like, like Barco or whatever. I'm like, yeah.
Barco, what model?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the DPI. Yeah. Yeah. 300. Yeah.
I lied off my fucking ass, man. I wanted I needed that work. So I'm like, yes. And if I don't, guess what? I'll know it by the time I need to work. Because he's like, whatever. You call me in like 2 months, I'll know it by then. He's like, cool. Can you work Monday? I'm like, yes. Yes, I can,
That's what I'm
Yuri.
fucking talking about, dude. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Fucking adversity, baby.
Sweating. I'm like, fuck, dude. Immediately went home, bought a fucking Barco book. I fucking read all the damn manuals. I'd snuck in there and looked at the model that they use in the screening room. So I looked at the manual for that, how all those things are used. I downloaded the software on my computer so I could like sample play with it or sample test with it. And I still didn't really, I'm not going to know it like working on it. I'm not going to actually get the experience, but I knew enough to at least say the right things and ask the right questions.
Yeah.
So once I came in, I just asked the right questions. We were working with a different projector than everything that I fucking researched. So I'm like, cool. All that was a fucking complete
Yuri,
waste.
I noticed this isn't a Barco.
Yeah.
What's up? It's like, it's fine. It's just an Epson. You should be fine.
It's just a Panasonic. Same thing. It sure is. Sure is. Yeah. The software that I downloaded is trash, but yeah. But yeah, I learned it. It was the guy that was working that day. The video guy was Yegor, and Yegor was my fucking homie.
Okay.
I was just like, hey man, can you teach me? Because he's like, how much do you know? I'm like, barely. I know like the right things to ask. He's like, okay.
I see.
He didn't care. He was not like upset about it. He was just like, okay, yeah, just do what I say. I'm like, yes, sir. Fucking whatever you need. And then he taught me all of it. And then I was working with them for.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I was working with them and learning video, audio, lighting, set, deck, all that shit.
Everything that goes into a live production.
Yeah, because what we did, the main thing that we did was we worked at Neuhaus. They had this I don't know, 5,000 square foot just modular like
space.
Yeah, just space that you could turn into whatever you want. So companies would come in all the time and change it into completely different things. So lights would have to be hung here, LED wall would have to be built over here, and then we'd have to build Video Village up on the top mezzanine and then connect it through fucking Ethernet or whatever. It's like I learned all the different ways that you can connect something in like a 10,000 square foot room, which
fucking cool
turned out to be everything that you need to know about production.
Pretty transferable information and skills.
Yeah.
Sick.
And right around the end of that journey was when Machinima, they saw me. I was streaming Wednesday night fights with Alex Valle in fucking Esports Arena in Santa Ana way back. I think Esports Arena is shut down now, unfortunately, but we would do a weekly event there and I would stream Tekken there for him.
Tekken.
And,
fuck yeah.
And I remember there were these two just suit-looking dudes, which is funny because it turned out to be, that tall gay dude, what's his name? Remember that big gay dude?
With the mustache?
Yeah, I forget his fucking name. It's not Josh, right?
No, it's not Josh. Was it Josh?
No, there was Glug Josh.
Right.
And then there was
called him Glug.
And then there was Light Josh.
There was Light Josh. Oh, like Crew Josh. Big dude.
Not Lighting Josh.
Okay.
I'm saying it was whatever.
Lots of Joshes, whatever. I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
All right.
He was in a suit?
I'm just saying, like, to me, they look like, because I forget, I was hanging around fucking gamers. So,
they looked like top, upper executives.
They looked like they mattered, around a bunch of us losers who didn't. And so I just saw, and I'm just like, like, what are they doing over here? And I noticed they were walking behind the streamers. And so just something in me, I'm like, I wonder if they're like scouting or like if they're looking for someone to help with like some corporate thing. And so just because I thought that, I'm like, let me just like, even though I know everything that I'm doing and this isn't even difficult for me at this point, let me just look like I'm finessing with something over here. I'm just like, and I have my headphones on, I'm like,
you're like, and
I'm like,
go, beat drops.
I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm doing those, just, no. Where is it? And then I'm like looking at the screen, I'm like,
you're doing director shit.
So, and literally, it could have been coincidence. Maybe they hit me up and they weren't talking to anybody else. They stopped next to me and he's like, hey, you so what is this? What are you guys doing here? You know, I explained to him what I'm doing, and oh, this is what part I take over. He's like, so you in charge of the stage and all that? I'm like, no, I mean, I've run the stage, but no, I just do this teching part over here. And he's like, oh, this is cool. We're thinking about doing something, you know, like similar. It's like, and then ended up being Body Count Fighting, which was Machinima's like
BFC,
big premiere.
Dude. Yeah. I was like
BCF. Man,
BCF.
you really are dyslexic, huh?
I think I've been hiding it really well because also not great at reading. I think I read at a third grade level.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm afraid to fucking get it diagnosed. Honestly, it's not broken enough to get in the way. So it's like, laissez-faire, dude. So Body Count Fighting.
Yeah.
And then that's when you started doing some Machinima streams.
Yeah, so I was doing the Russian shit and I was doing the streaming. I was also interning for fucking Esports Arena. And then Machinima came and was like, they saw me doing that Wednesday Night Fights thing. So so they were like, hey, you know, maybe we're thinking of doing this thing. We just need like someone to stream it. We don't have that technology in the studio. Again, like live streaming was not a thing. So luckily the thing that got me into production was the thing that no one in production knew about, really. Or you had to pay astronomical amounts of money to make work. And for me, it was I had this tiny little computer and fucking little mixer and camera, and that was it. So
right.
I was like, yeah, I'll come by the studio. I come by the studio, and that was when they introduced me to you. And it was funny because the way they introduced me to you was they were like, yeah, so we have all our studios, they're all, you know, fully customizable and modular and soundproofed. And in a minute, you'll hear why our directors are not happy about the fact that we call it soundproofed, you know, and I like walk into the door and I just hear your fucking, the loudest laugh I've ever heard in my fucking life. They're like, that's Nadav. You'll meet him in a little bit.
The most expensive laugh in broadcasting.
He's the reason why we need all this soundproofing.
They built, it was either $250,000 or $500,000 wall that did not contain my laugh.
I was about to say it, and it didn't
I had to
work.
take long lunches because of it.
But as they had me touring the whole studio, I was just calling out stuff. I was just like, oh, it's cool. You know, you guys use the A10. Like, yeah, I'm familiar with this. And, you know, I've used the raw switcher a couple of times because they were telling me how everything worked. And so
right.
I was just saying, yeah, I know how this stuff works. And they're like, whoa, wait, you know switchers? I'm like, yeah.
Like, we don't have to explain to you our workflow. You can just figure it out by looking at this shit.
And this time, I wasn't lying. This
Right.
time, I was serious. They were like, oh, you know fucking switchers? I'm like, yeah. You know projectors? Yeah. You know fucking routers and all that? I'm like, yeah. I do work with Neuhaus and this and that, blah, blah, blah. They're like, huh, okay, good to know. Well, why don't you come in on Friday? We'll do this Body Count Fighting thing. We'll have you stream it. And then maybe we just have you like switch one of our other shows, see how you do. I'm like, sure. And that kind of turned into a freelance thing that kept going for a while.
Right. And that other show was the show that I was doing, right?
That, it was not. I was doing...
Was that DC?
It wasn't.
No, because that didn't start yet. No.
It was Ready Player One just came out, and it was like a Ready Player One, just gamers playing against each other. And
Okay.
I don't fucking remember the specifics.
Oh, right.
but
There was like a whole other set that they were doing like game night or like
yes,
whatever the fuck. Right.
That's what it was on first. And
Right.
then I think it was I think Dylan just didn't want to do VR Power Hour or didn't anymore. And he was like, can fucking someone like, I'm doing this and I can't do both.
Well, yeah, dude, we were a fucking team of drunks. And I mean, I wasn't a drunk yet, but like they were trying to turn me into one. Dude, Machinima was fucking wild. It was literally kids fresh out of college trying to play the big boy game. And like, I remember I was an industry post-production person at that point and started working at Machinima as an assistant editor. And me and the editor that I was paired with, Rob.
Robbo Blabo.
So me and Robbo Blabo got along so well that we were just making each other laugh and like doing shit. And we were both so efficient. They hired us for like a 3-month gig. We were done with everything within 2 months. So we were done ahead of schedule. And what was pitched to us was like, look, we all love you guys. We want you to stay. The next month, you guys just start pitching ideas to us involving VR. Because Caleb at the time. He's like, I'm the VR department. I want to work with you guys. Pitch VR related ideas. We could all work together. And I think I'd known Caleb from a different show before then. Like, I think I'd worked with him on something, like I knew him previously somehow. And he would, so for the next month, me and Rob are just thinking of ideas. And there was this fucking thing called Diffuse the Bomb, or
Keep Talking and Nobody.
Keep Talking and No One Explodes.
Yeah.
It was that.
Mhm.
And so it was literally just like, you have a bomb with like so many different modules that comes with like a handbook, and you're diffusing the bomb as your partner is describing to you how to diffuse it. So it's like a game of telephone, but with diffusing a bomb. So what we did was we played that game and then added in like a Dear Abby, like where people ask questions and we're giving genuine advice while we're trying to defuse the bomb.
That's right.
And we shot the pilot of it where I think I came in a full suit. I think I did the pilot in a full suit. I think Rob was dressed up too. And we just like shot for like, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour. And we just turned it into a sizzle and we showed it to people. And they're like, yeah, do you guys want to work here indefinitely? Like, the show's picked up. Absolutely. If you guys want to do this, play VR. Like, you guys are great on camera. Like, okay. And like, never really connected with too many people there, except for that I like directly did it. Like, even when you started like coming in, you were super, like, you were quiet. You kind of kept to yourself. You switched fine. And then when we were socializing in the room, every now and then you'd pipe up and like you'd share something like, oh, okay, this guy's like cool and easy to work with. Like, he's a good hang. There were just so many times, dude, I think you saw me at my fucking maddest.
Oh yeah, I did.
You saw me at my fucking maddest I think I've ever been at a job. It was because we were doing Cringe Fest, like during our off time, because really we only worked an hour a day, and then the rest of the day was just like researching other VR games and hanging out and building rapport.
Right.
So I think this was after we were done streaming. We were all just sharing videos that we did in high school and college, and like shit that were just like, let me show you something that I'm super fucking embarrassed about.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember showing something. I made a rap music video in my senior year of high school. It's something called the Purim Spiel. So Jewish. And it was where the students put on a play to make fun of the teachers, and the teachers put on a play to make fun of the senior class. And it's like, it was a fun concept. And so the way I contributed was I made a rap music video about the Judaic studies teacher. And it was a smash fucking hit. It was catchy. It was good. But I showed it to everyone. I'm like, I'm going to show this to you guys. But this could never be played on stream. You can't show it to anyone else. Like, it was just the rule. Like, I put down my foot. I'm like, I will show this to you, but like, it stays in this room. They're like, yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever. And I think within a week, they just took, because like we called bad guys spicy boys, and we used spice in a lot of shit.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
as an adjective, as a verb, as like whatever.
That's right.
And in that rap music video, I say, spice it up. And so they isolated that. And in the middle of a stream, like we're playing, and all of a sudden I just hear someone play spice it up, like in my voice. And I just fucking take off my VR goggles. I'm like, hey, what the fuck was that? And we have earpieces, and I just hear Caleb going, keep going. I'm like, no. No. I laid down a rule. Like, I said no. And they're like, Nadav, we need you to keep, like, I literally ripped off my ear set and I went to the control room. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, you guys broke the rule. I laid down a line in the sand and you guys crossed it. I don't fuck with that. Like, if this is the environment that this is, I'm not fucking into it. And then they're like, please go back out there. I was like, okay. Mic me back up, because I tore everything off for them.
Mm-hmm.
They mic me back up, and I go in and sit in the chair, and I just don't talk. And I just I feel really bad about this, but Robbo Blabo was just like, hey, buddy, what's going on out there? And I'm just fuming.
It was the most awkward show I've ever switched. Ever.
It was the maddest I think
It was
anyone
so awkward.
outside of my family has ever seen me. It was the maddest anyone had ever seen me. And like within 5 minutes, they realized like I was so over it. They're like, all right, Nadav, why don't you just come back in? And then like, all right, let us just demic you. I'm like, cool, you guys good? And I literally left my phone on the desk, just went outside, started walking. Literally just started walking, I think for an hour. Like, I'm just walking, trying to fucking blow, like trying to calm myself down. I'm like,
Yeah, how did you ever calm down after that?
I came back still mad.
Yeah,
Because I came back because I was trying to figure out, how did this happen? Who did this?
Uh-huh.
And the only thing
Had to be Mills, right?
it was Rob.
It was Rob.
It was Rob Oblabo.
Whoa.
Which is literally the only person that gets the leeway, because he has nothing but good intentions, and he thought it would make me laugh. I'm like, if your intention was to make me laugh, you miscalled that. Bad call on your part. But we could get past this, because like, you weren't trying to embarrass me. You thought it would be funny because it's on brand. Like, everything that he explained to me, I'm like, I could see how you got there. Don't fucking do that again. But this is still a very hard line for me. I still can't believe that that's the most my emotions have ever like interfered with my work environment, where I was just like, I can't believe that you guys are fucking me like this. Like, I told you explicitly.
That was crazy too, because I didn't really, I mean, like you said, I didn't really talk to y'all like too deep, so
Right.
I didn't know where the lines were, who you guys actually were, you know? I just knew you guys were all fucking chummy and would fuck around with each other all the time, so I'm like, it took me a while to be like, oh, this isn't a bit. Like,
This
he's
is
fucking
real.
serious.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I think I was the only person in the room that wasn't sure.
I made it weird. Dude, it was weird. I felt bad about it. It was weird for everyone, but it was just like, I explicitly said, none of this goes on the stream. And I hear so what, you guys think you could bend the rules? You think I'm going to be, technically, fuck you. No, I'm not, I don't play that shit. And that's usually like, if anyone just crosses a line that I think is explicitly said, that's normally when I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking need this shit. And then at that point, I think I'd already realized that the amount of crew and the amount of people that it took to put the show together had outnumbered our concurrent viewers. And I thought we were doing good shows. Like, it was stuff that I think was fun.
Dude, here's the thing. You were doing good shows. It was not marketed. I mean, was there even a marketing?
Social team. Oh,
the
my
social
God. Let
team,
me
that's
tell you
right.
about this fucking social team.
Dude, I heard so many stories about the fucking social team.
Dude, so they got paid on likes and engagements and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, how about you promote shit that the company does so that those things could start getting numbers? Because you guys are getting good numbers, but you guys are just posting memes and fucking red versus blue shit that fucking Machinima doesn't do anymore.
Wait, they got paid for memes.
Yeah. They got paid for engagements and click-throughs and fucking whatever the fuck. And so whenever I was just like, hey, could you put a VR Power Hour like fucking clip? Like, it's a banger clip. It'll be like, I don't know if it'll do good, but like, it's a funny one. Like, throw it in there every now and then. And they're like, honestly, that hurts our performance and we're not going to risk that. And I'm like, what kind of company is this that what's this department for? We do it. And then literally that's when we started our own socials and we started doing it ourselves. And
But
it was just the dumb.
It's too late.
And then like when I realized that the crew was outnumbering the entire staff, I was like, writing's on the wall. I need to start thinking of an exit strategy. Week later, Tom and Christina called me because I had already for like 2 years been freelancing YMH. Like, the rule was no matter what job I got freelance or, permalance, I leave early on Mondays to go pick up SD cards, turn around to YMH, probably finish all my uploads by like 1 or 2 in the morning. And then the rest of the week is fine, but I leave early on Mondays. That's always the rule. And I remember there was a job that was like, look, buddy, you're going to have to make a choice here. I'm like, careful. You don't want to ask me that because I'm not going to pick you guys. And then he's like, all right. And so then, then we transitioned to, and then there was like a couple times where like we went out to drinks like as a crew, and like you'd pop in, I think maybe once or twice I had drinks with you.
At Machinima?
Yeah. Where it was either like,
Couple times.
liquid lunches or fucking liquid dinners or whatever the fuck it was. I was just like, oh, okay, this guy's a fun hang. Like, he's fucking around. Like, you were adding to the you were adding to the fun and never taking away from it.
Yeah.
And so then we start off building out the YMH studio. I think I got connected with Dan from H3. Like, Tom connected me with him, who's H3, Ethan and Ela Klein's producer.
That's right. I remember that was the explanation for
why it was set up the way it was.
Yes. I asked so many different pieces of equipment. I'm like, how come you guys got these instead of, and they're like, oh, well,
Right. It was just what was
H3
recommended.
guy,
It's like,
yeah.
this is literally a H3 setup.
Mhm.
And so just bought all that. And like, honestly, most of it was just plug and connect and it kind of worked. Like
It was solid.
the cameras that we got accidentally were just like the right cameras that work with every. I remember hearing you say that. I was like, happy accident. dude.
Yeah.
I
I'm like,
think-
dude, you found the one camera that at that time that was within budget that could zoom, do different exposure, shoot at 4K, but send HDMI out at 1080p and be no lag and be able to record for over an hour. That's not a thing right now. You found the one that does
Dude, you know how we got that? You know, that recommendation came to me from Tom,
it.
who saw Red Band getting this buying this camera and just doing like a comparing, like a Marcus Brownlee type shit. Like where he's just like, look at this, look at the 4K, look at this flower with this camera. Now look at the flower with this camera. Look how much better this camera is. And literally Tom saw that and he was like, yeah, get that camera. That's how we picked it.
So lucky.
Because I'm a post-production guy. I'm like,
So lucky.
So connected with Dan, got those cameras, made everything work together. And then I think we had already put it together. And I was just starting to think like, yo, we're understaffed. Like everyone can't do this. Like, sure, right now we're YMH, like just the YMH podcast, but more stuff is getting added to the slate soon. So we need to be ready to expand. I was like, what switches do I know? And then Glug like moved to NorCal. And I'm just like, dude, we'll pay you to move back. He's like, oh, I'm in love. I'm like, let me know when that runs out. I think they're married now. Congratulations.
Shout out to Glug.
Shout outs Glug, dude.
Let's go, Glug.
If you ever move to Texas, fucking call me. And then I was just like, who else do I know that fucking knows this shit? I'm like, oh, fucking Enny. Enny was the like, Enny never had problems. Like, I never knew that there were issues, and I knew that he knew this shit front and back. So I called you up, and I was like, yo, could you switch for a couple of this stuff? And you weren't plugged into the world at all. Like,
I didn't even know who Tom was.
dude, you didn't know who Tom was. We had big time guests come in. And you're like, who's this? I'm like, Jim Gaffigan.
I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Fucking Bill Burr. Like,
I'm like, all right, well, the sound levels are good.
yeah.
Video's on.
Strictly
so.
business with you. And you're just like, cool. Is it a good show? Bad switches? It's like, no. It was fucking good. And I remember you just coming in and just fucking made my job so much fucking easier.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
I tried.
I could tell. Like, and the biggest thing that I saw in you, which I saw in myself a lot, which I'm like, and it's a hard characteristic to find in someone. But when you know that you fucked something up, like that you directly fucked it up, it's a day ruiner, it's a week ruiner. You will fucking lament on that mistake and make sure that that never happens again. And I saw it in you. I'm like, I need this guy on the team, like permanently.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from the time I saw that in you, I was like, how do we get you to be staff, dude? And like, that was the hardest fucking thing because you're such a free spirit. You hate being tied down.
Free spirit.
Yeah. You're saying that's not an accurate way to fucking describe you?
No, I think that's a nice way to describe it. Yeah. You mean psycho is what you're trying to say.
Because you liked options. And like,
Yeah.
and I was trying to tell you, fuck your options, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This is a ship that's going to get higher and higher. And you're going to this is ground level shit that like, you want a Monday to Friday job where you don't have to worry about what you're doing and just fucking get paid. Like, this is stability in an unstable industry. But yeah, dude, it's just like during those times, I realized exactly like the type of character that you are. And like, it's incredible to me how many people I surround myself with where it's like, this is such a unique personality. I don't know anyone else that thinks like this. Like you could say that about almost everyone that works at YMH.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I feel like pretty much anyone that works in podcasting, because again, that's why I'm saying if you have some inkling and you're like, I want to do podcasting, you're fucking insane. And you're going to figure that out the more you get to know it. If you get to know everything about podcasting and you still want to do it, you probably are a fucking psycho. There's no reason you'd want to do this.
dude, it's
too much.
It's so stressful. And like, that's the thing is just like, that's what was most exciting about it. Is just like, look, if you want to go to a normal career, like normal entertainment, Hollywood shit, You want to be in post-production. It's post-production intern or post-production assistant, assistant editor, supervisor, or, something. It could end at editor, or you could go to post-soup, like whatever the fuck you want to do. But it's like there's a very clear track. And I'm like, this podcast, dude, it's kind of like Hollywood, except for that it's a wild, wild west. If you want to make a jump from here to here, as long as you fucking are able to change hats, you can make shit happen. There's no fucking rules here. There's no path. You could pick your own path.
Correct.
And I think that was the thing that I was trying to use to sell to sell you on. And I was like, we need you. You're a fucking god. You're one of one. Like I promise you, like you're not going anywhere. Like if you want to be here, you won't go anywhere. My favorite moments with you are right after live shows. Because that's when you and me
They're good ones, you mean?
Right.
The ones where I didn't do one bad switch or something.
That's the thing, is that I would see you lament on one bad switch, and I'd be like, dude, one bad switch, that's fine. We'll fix that in post. People only saw it live. No one's going to see that mistake. And you would do the same shit to me. I'd play the wrong fucking beat and be like, don't fucking worry. Like the first time it happened, it's like, that's easily fixable. Don't fucking beat yourself up. The second time, I played the Garth sketch twice, but like I was supposed to play the YMH I Am Retarded.
Right. But then that's video. Why, yeah.
And it's like, don't worry, dude. That is the perfect time to make this mistake. I'm like, all right. Like we were really good at talking each other down. And then at the end of a flawless live show, that's when I was just like,
oh man,
this is better than any fucking drug. Like, let's go fuck, like, this is better than any drug.
Let's
like,
go out right now.
Yeah, let's fucking drink a lot.
Yeah.
And we would just go into the fucking all the alcohol that we bought for Bert, like in the kitchen, in the kitchenette, and just start pouring drinks for everyone. We ordered like DoorDash from Morton's Steakhouse or something. That was just just the trashiest way to eat nice food.
So degenerate.
So fucking stupid. But like, those were my favorite moments with you. And like the fucking Paramount show that we did, like the feeling of like the first time we try something new and it ended up working out so much better than we thought. And everything always came down to the last minute, which is how it happens in production.
Dude, working side by side, we're monsters.
It's like we're perfect complements. Like it's the things that I'm good at, you're weak at, and the things that you're good at, I'm weak at. And so I knew if you were confident about something, that's all I needed. If you knew that it was going to work, I didn't need to ask any more questions. And vice versa. If you're like, hey, this is a problem, I'm like, let me fix this problem for you.
I wouldn't even need to fucking ask. I just knew. I knew that like when it came to fucking, managing the bar owner or whatever, to be like, this has to be this way, even though we said it was going to be this way. It's like, I know Nadav's going to handle. I don't even need to fucking say shit.
I love cracking skulls.
He gonna handle that shit.
And that's the thing, is that it's so rare to find someone in an industry where it's like, because a lot of people think that producing is just fucking laughing and Googling, but it's not. It's waking up to fires and running towards them. And there's a lot of fires in production. And the thing I loved most about working with you is that I knew if I was running towards a fire, if I was looking to my side, I knew you were running right with me in the exact same direction. I was like, this is like a one-of-one relationship. Like it's of all the people I've met in the industry, I have always felt closest to you because of that. It's like, we get the same shit. We're on the same wavelength. We understand the stakes the exact same way, and we have the exact same context on why this needs to work, what the consequences are of this not working, and just depending on each other's strength to fucking carry the other one to the finish line. And not only that, you're an incredible fucking hang. Like you're one of the funniest people that I think I've ever worked with. Dude, there were some lines that you would just fucking throw out where I'm just like,
I'm good at that.
Do you even understand? I noticed how funny you were because, sure, you like on mic, it was like there was always just the rule of only speak when spoken to. Like we're not talent, we're the cast. Like not even the cast, we're the crew. And if they ask us a question, that's when we talk.
Right.
And like that was the mentality that we've always had. But whenever we had lunches, it was like there were times that we had lunches with Tom and Christina where it was like a more toned down version of what our lunch conversations were. But when it was just the boys, our lunch conversations were fucking wild.
Illegal.
war crimes, hate crimes, every type of crime, knife crimes, like every type of crime is what was discussed during our lunches.
Like if the Persians next door, if they could understand
oh my God,
even a word of
Persians
English.
next door, dude. Holy shit. I cracked their skulls at least 3 times where they fucking were using fucking wipes and flushing them down and our shit was backed up. And I think David Spade was coming in and I had a fucking deal with a fucking backed up. I'm dealing with plumbers.
Oh shit, dude. Fucking
So many trench stories with you, man. Like, and
that is by far my favorite time working with you.
yeah.
Skull cracking, Nadav. Like back when you used to review drops. The best fucking time a man can have.
Yeah.
Like ever, I think.
Describe your perspective on it. What was it like?
This was back when I was editing or whatever. So we'd be in the same room and I'd be editing on this computer. You'd be right behind me. And then every now and then I would just hear you be like, you fucking idiot. Why the fuck would you send that? I'm like, what? I'd just like take my ears and be like, you say something?
I think it was Dr. Drew After Dark. People were sending in voice.
Probably.
Yeah, shit like that where I'm just like, you fuck, like, why the fuck would you send this in? Go to a doctor. We bank episodes, guys.
I was like, huh? Wait, did you say something? You're like, no, it's not. It's fucking stupid fans. You know, they're saying this stupid shit. Like, they should know. And I'm like, know what? I'm like, hold on. Know what? And he's like, well, just like, look. Like, I'd listen to it and it'd just be like, hey, my name's Jennifer. I just, I don't know what I should do.
I just had my first period. Should I use a tampon or a pad?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Like, you dumb idiot, ask your mom or something.
Like, what the fuck? That's something you could fucking Google. What the fuck is this shit? Anyway, delete. Fucking next. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I deleted so much shit.
I was like, that's a normal
Dude,
question.
I blocked emails from being able to submit shit. If I saw something that was truly fucking stupid, I blocked the email from the YMH podcast.
You're so toxic. You're so fucking toxic.
I was just like, this is trash, dude. And not only that, there'd be names that I recognize where I'm like, too many trash. Too much trash in a row, bro. You've lost your privileges, and then just block.
Oh man. Fuck.
Oh, fuck.
Those were my favorite times. Or being on a call where someone would be like, I don't know, like, yeah, even though we said you can come in at 8, now you're gonna have to come in at 8:30. I just like, let me hear how he's gonna handle this one. He'd be like, sorry, so who determined that we're coming in 8:30? Right, and so that's 2 weeks before the show, huh? You didn't think that would be something that we should have talked about maybe beforehand? It's just, dude, come on.
Oh, dude,
more.
This might have been my favorite one, and I feel bad about it. I'm not gonna say names over here, but I think you were on the call for this one too when we were building out the new YMH studio. You already know what story I'm gonna say.
I don't know.
You know what? Fuck it. Never mind. Okay, all right, here we go. So there were these, because we were used to running shit dirty. Like at YMH Studios, there were no panels. I literally took a saw, made a rat hole, and fucking just ran all the XLRs through that. And I'm like, if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. That was always my mentality. And it's like, I don't care if it's clean. Like, if the camera doesn't see it, it doesn't have to be clean. So I remember we were going over, like, we were designing, we were talking about what was necessary for, like, Patrick, because YMH Studios, the production capability of that facility is one of a kind.
It's outrageous.
It's insane how that place works. Like, technologically, more technologically advanced than any system that's fucking out there that you fucking built with the help of a couple other people. But, like, you were the brain behind it. I remember I saw this charge for like plates. I mean, there were issues over here, but like essentially it would be like a plug over here, like where the mic is going into. Just a plug that, like an XLR plug that you put in. And like my preference is a fucking hole drilled like this. And I'm seeing each of these plates. I'm like, so each of these plates are like $100. And we have like what, 80 of these fucking plates? I'm like, do we need that? And he goes, well, it'd be frowned upon, if you didn't use it this way. And I was like,
no, he said,
okay, go ahead.
He said, Well, I would personally never work in a place, that I would never want to call it my own project if I left it, with holes in the wall.
And then I was like, well, what would the fire marshal say? Would the fire marshal have the same opinion as you? Like, would the fire marshal see that and be like, you can't do that? He's like, no. I'm like, cool. Strike the plates. Eliminate the plates. No custom plates for the shit. And I think eventually it was just like, fine, let's get the plates.
Yeah, we put in the plates.
We definitely put in the plates because it was cleaner and it did look better. I was just
great.
Like, for some reason, that was just like, I don't know. I'm just in a skull cracking mood. Just like fucking whatever, dude. Like this is just too much. I know that there was an infinite money glitch, but I was like, I have to at least try and save money. Like if I can't explain it to myself, how am I going to explain it to the higher ups on justifying the cost? So like, we're paying how much for? I mean, granted, I don't think Tom Christina would know what a custom plate is for like a wall mount or like it would be
chances.
How much are we fucking paying for this? But I knew what the fuck it was. I was like, we had a rat hole at the other place. And not only that, it played to our advantage because the fucking laugh leaked in, which was a happy accident. So we need something like that anyways. Just have fucking build it. Plates are going to ruin the show.
We don't need the fucking plates. It's too much. So much money.
I felt so bad about it because also that guy was so good at his job. Like,
he's fucking
he's a
incredible
brilliant
at
dude. Like, and he's helped us put out so many fires. And this was right when I first started talking to him. And Matt, who's letting us film at SoundShed Studios. Matt, I think you were on that call too, right? Are you still here?
Yeah, that was. I don't know who we're talking about.
Oh God, I really did feel bad about it because I think there was one time we literally had a fire at the studio and fucking both Matt and this guy came over and just immediately were just like, all right, let's fucking like figure out like how this happened, blah, blah, blah.
I totally forgot about the fire. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. All sorts of things.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about all this stuff because everyone thinks that I'm not talking shit about YMH because I signed an NDA. I did not. Consulting is my job. That's not good for business.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
It's crazy that you look like this.
What do you mean?
I had no fucking idea. This is what I've only seen you on the right. I can't. It's crazy. Like that's what you look like,
dude.
That's fucking crazy.
It was wild to me. Like when people started seeing, like when we started doing like staff videos that put it on the things.
Mm-hmm.
That was always the comment.
Every
like,
time.
Whoa, that's what Nadav's body looks like. It's like, guys, I've been fat my entire life.
Oh, the body. Yeah.
Well, no, not just the body. It's fucking the face too. It's just like, yeah, you guys see it just at a point where it's like the second chin is fucking covered. The nose doesn't look as fucking, hooky as it as it actually is. But then look, I look pretty good like this, right, guys? Boom, completely different person. It's just like, yo, who is this fucking 99.8% Ashkenazi piece of shit, right? But yeah, it's so funny to me because in the booth, there's no variety of what angle you're looked at. It's always, they're seeing the same left side of your face.
It's like I go like this and they're like, oh, there's Enny. Like I didn't recognize him this whole time.
Right.
And then it's me. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, every comment, yeah, it's like, oh, that's what the other side of his face looks like. You scumbags.
I've never said this publicly. But the funniest comment, like, because, there's mean shit that's said all the time and a lot of it bounces off your back, but every now and then you want to respond to shit or you're like, yo, that's a different flavor of mean that's actually so mean that it's hilarious.
Okay.
I think I was just wearing an ill-fitting shirt in one of those videos one time and someone said I had witch hat titties.
What? Witch hat titties?
Yeah, because a witch hat is super pointy. And I think I was just wearing an ill-fitting shirt. Like, yo, Nadav, I didn't know Nadav had witch hat titties. I'm like, I've never heard that sentence. I've never heard that before. And I want to be offended, but it's just so fucking funny. Like, I'm like, I got to keep these now.
It's baked in.
Yeah, but I'm keeping these, baby. I was born this way.
Have to.
Yeah, it's 2024.
OnlyFans.
Body positivity. Yeah, if you don't like looking at this fucking fat piece of shit. Fucking comment, like, and subscribe, you fucking assholes. At least do something for the algorithm. I'm fully aware of what I look like. This is just a new angle you're seeing. Oh, God. It took so long to build this callus. But, dude, I want to say thank you so much for being on here. And we'll end with this. So for someone that sees who you are and what you do, like you're in your career, and they're nowhere in that industry. Like they're doing, let's say they're a server at a restaurant, or they're some blue collar worker, or, you know, something that's just a completely unrelated field, and they want to be a technical director at a podcast production studio. What would you say advice to them as what their step one should be?
Jesus Christ. I had stats that I wrote down for something else. Okay, wait, here we go. There's over 3 million podcasts in the world today.
3 million?
Yeah, 3 million. I don't remember the site that I'm using for this information, but it's a site that does analytics and, you know, podcast data. So 3 million podcasts in the world. 3 fucking million of those. So it says 10% of those are active podcasts, meaning that they're like currently putting out episodes.
Oh, and the other 90% have already quit.
Correct.
Holy shit. Okay.
25% of those active podcasts have more than one episode. That's 25% of 10%. That's around 100K. 1% of those podcasts get over 10,000 downloads in the first 7 days. And you need that many to get, like, you know, sponsorship, right? Like at least 10K.
That's a minimum threshold.
How many of those podcasts would you assume have enough money in their budget to hire a technical director who has no experience right now, is just a blue collar worker, just has no, you know, wants to get into it? How many companies do you think have the space to hire you? None. There's like none. It's not a thing. My advice to you is quit.
Oh my God.
Don't fucking do it.
Oh my God.
Don't do it.
That's not why we're doing this.
Don't do it. You're fucking crazy. And here's the thing. If you're gonna if it's gonna work out for you, then you're not gonna listen to me anyway, right? You're not gonna listen to me because you're a fucking psycho. If you're a psycho, then you already know what to do. It is what it is. Start a podcast. Do it with a phone. Do it with 2 phones. And fucking record it and try to put it in your computer and edit it, put it together, watch it, see why it sucks, because it's going to suck. Why does it suck? You know, what can you fix? We'll fix that. You know, maybe, you need the audio, you keep going over each other, or maybe you can't hear enough. Maybe get a better mic. Okay, that didn't work. Fucking, I don't know. Like, I can't tell you classes and courses and shit because I didn't take them. I don't know courses and classes. This is my fucking course and class. You just fucking figure it out. Burn yourself. Set yourself on fucking fire. See what happens.
You know what? That started off in did we just waste 2 hours? But then it really kind of came around towards the end there. That's actually pretty solid advice. I'll take that.
It's similar to what I heard about acting. Who said that? I forget. It's a famous quote of, like, someone asked me, and whenever anybody asked me how do they get into acting?
Don't act. Do.
No.
Not that.
Someone, was it Brad Pitt or someone said, whenever people ask me how to get into acting, I tell them to quit, because if they listen to that, then they weren't going to make it anyway.
Oh, no.
That?
It's David Fincher.
It's almost, not quite, because there's a lot more talent that goes into, I think, something like the other side of the camera, like, you know, being an actual comedian as opposed to a comedy podcast producer. You know, it's like there's more that goes into that. There's a lot more steps you have to take.
Right.
But it's similarly competitive in that, like, everyone wants to do this, like, because you look at it and you think it looks so fucking amazing. So because of that alone, not because of the work, because of what actually goes into it. Once you start figuring that out, people start falling off.
Right.
So that's
you realize it's the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Mm-hmm. I have to be an actual engineer for this shit? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking sign up for this. You did.
Yeah.
You did. If you want to be a podcast, that's the other thing. Like, you know, I know we got to go. Being a podcast producer, I'll sum it up in this. Working in a podcast, it's never going to be like you want to be a technical director. Good fucking luck. Like there's barely going to be any podcasts by the time you're ready to be a technical director
that don't already have what they need.
That don't already have what they need or have enough budget to have just a technical director.
Right.
To work for a podcast, you don't need to be a technical director. You need to know everything.
Right.
You got to be able to produce. You got to be able to edit. You got to be able to fucking, you got to be an engineer. You have to know tech. You have to know shooting and lighting and set design. And you have to know everything if you're going to really get into it, because you're not going to get in with the big dogs. So how do I just get into like an up and coming maybe? Like that. You be the guy that knows everything so the guys can just sit in front of the fucking camera, talk, and leave. So they don't have to do any work. That's what you do. So you want to do that. All right.
Yeah.
Get off your ass. I promise you, by the time you actually learn everything that you need to know, you're not going to have as much competition as you think. You just have a lot of competition right now because everyone thinks they want to do this.
Right. Everyone's at the starting line. But if you actually start the race, as long as you keep a pace, even if it starts being into baby steps, but as long as you keep moving, people are just going to drop off. And eventually you'll be the only one that's like, hey, guess who knows how to do everything, to the point where you just have a 1-man, 2-man crew. It's just fucking keep running the race and you'll be the only one at the end of the finish line.
100%.
Fuck. What a banger, dude.
I bang. Cut that out.
It stays in. If you want, I'll bleep it, but I think that'll make it worse. Thanks for coming, Enny. At this point, I'd like to remind you to comment, like, subscribe. Everyone that you're seeing on screen right now is a producer of the show. Without their support, it would be impossible to put this show together as consistently and as regularly as I do. If you would like to become a producer/supporter of the show, go ahead and click the Patreon link in the description below and sign up for any level that you are financially comfortable signing up for. And with that, I'd like to... Oh, okay. I thought you were setting something up. With all of that, I would also like to remind everyone, this is totally unconfirmed news.
Unconfirmed news.
I don't think you could do that. See you next week.